Well, good morning, my friends. Today, August 24, it is a Saturday. Out here with my parents. We are about to go take our tour today here in Gettysburg. So let's go. Join me on another Zoo's adventure. Okay, and so we have arrived to the little town of Gettysburg. Let's take a look at the buildings here. Civil War era, 1800s right here. Right here we have the Gettysburg National Cemetery. Hopefully we'll come back, walk around. There's a whole lot to see. We are approaching the Museum and Visitor Center here in Gettysburg. We're gonna start off by doing the museum first, and then after that we'll do the tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to the two exit stairways on either side of the platform. We hope you enjoy the rest of your visit at the Gettysburg National Military Park and Museum and Visitor Center.
All right, so we just finished watching that cyclorama and a short video here in the Visitor Center.
Anybody with questions in here I can help you with?
To have a 12-pounder Confederate Napoleon gun right here. We're about to step in the museum here shortly. Then after that, we'll do the tour of the battlefield. It looks like they have a lot more shells here from the cannons. Just look at all of these right here. So many different ones. Look at the canister right there with the little mini balls. Got some of the rifles right here. Yeah, so the cyclorama, which I said I forgot we had that with the museum, just right through these doors right here. It was created in 1884. It's a pretty old painting, probably one of the oldest paintings they said, and the biggest, as you can see right here in these pictures. It goes all the way around, and it basically tells you a story of Pickett's charge. It was a huge event here at the battlefield of Gettysburg, which hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about it once we go out to the battlefield tour. Look at all the pistols. Here we got some display costumes for the Union. And then on this side, we do have a Confederate. Here it says, now we are engaged in a great Civil War. Confederates on the left and the Union on the right. Thank you. 4 years of the Civil War were the bloodiest in the nation's history. Some 720,000 soldiers and sailors died in the war, around 2% of the population. A loss on the same scale today would equal 7 million deaths. Americans fought one another over three fundamental issues, which of course, survival of the Union, the fate of slavery, and the common rights of citizenship. What it means to be an American, the war resolved the first two issues. The nation struggles with the third to this day. Roughly 11,000 men died at the battlefield of Gettysburg alone. and another 40,000 were wounded, captured, or missing. These 51,000 casualties equal about 20 times the population of the small Pennsylvania town.
As new territories were formed, the balance of power could shift toward states that argued for the right to free labor or toward those that argued for the right to slave labor. All of the complex issues came down to that. It was a rivalry to control the future, to advance one vision of freedom or the other. Debate had split Congress for decades. The stakes were rising. The abolitionist movement calling for the immediate end of all slavery on moral grounds joined forces with a larger movement and soon followed, forming a new country, the Confederate States of America. On April 12, 1861, the Confederates fired on federal troops holding Fort Sumter, South Carolina. When Lincoln called for volunteers to put down the rebellion, 4 more southern states declared their independence and joined the Confederacy. The war had begun.
South Carolina was one of the first states to secede. The Union now subsisting between South Carolina and other states under the name of United States of America is hereby dissolved. South Carolina Secession Ordinance, December 20, 1860. This is a Declaration of Independence for South Carolina. Under secession from the states. Got some Confederate money right here. $100, $20, $10. It's the United States flag, 1861. The stars on this flag include the 11 states of the Confederacy. The U.S. government never recognized the right of the southern states to leave the Union, and their stars remained on the American flag throughout the war. This flag called Stars and Bars. This was the first flag of the Confederacy, 1861. First Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis. Lincoln for the Union and Jefferson for the Confederates.
Farther west, after much hard fighting and slow progress, Union armies under Generals Grant and Banks surrounded General John.
This is a pretty neat museum. Like if you want to learn more about not just Gettysburg, but the Civil War itself. There's a lot of information here. Like in the corner, we got post of recruiting. Like in this poster over here, we have where it says each man will receive. So out of the bounty fund, 10 in advance. From the citizens funds, 13 a month, and from the state, 13 a month. Looks like here on top we have all the different battles that took place. Fort Manassas, Fort Henry, and Donelson. U.S. Monitor versus CSS Virginia. Shiloh, New Orleans. Shenandoah campaign. 7 days battle. Second Manassas. Right, I don't think I know how to pronounce that. Antietam. Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville. We got the displays of the Yankees and the Rebels, which is the Union uniform and what they carried with them. Look at this little hat right here. Kind of looks small. For sure that will not fit in my head. Or maybe. We got the tin cup, their little satchel, and this is the Confederates. This display shows the soldier life. Got the games to keep them entertained. discipline was used in the Confederate hospital near Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Both sides poured their efforts into building and training armies.
And right here we got the room of General Lee's. We got the furniture and his bed. This single bed looks painful. Me with a broken back, I would have never been able to sleep in this. But yeah, Lee's Field headquarters right here. Got a stretcher over here, a little trumpet or a cornet. Got a map of Gettysburg. Oh, and over here, I always wanted to know all this, what it means. This is what is an army? Regiment, brigade, division, corps, army. So yeah, it's smallest regiment or regiment. Brigade consists of four regiments. Division, it's 3 of them. That is cool to know about. I always wonder what the heck is a regiment, what's a brigade, what's a division. But so regiment 350 men. Too much information, Dad? Yep. Yeah, guys, so there's a lot of information here. I kind of try to plan this so I could see half of the museum, do the bus tour, and then hopefully try to get a little bit of more time to come back in here to finish the museum, but there's just a whole lot of information. And right here we have an officer's camp. Alright, so it's 1 o'clock. Our tour does start at 1:30. I'm guessing we have to be there a couple minutes to get on that bus.
There's a pine tree coming up the next intersection on your left. When you locate the pine tree, look through the branches to see a red brick house. And up in the attic windows where the sharpshooter was. So get ready. I'm making sure to see the pine tree. Okay, look through the branches. Red brick house, up in the attic windows, a sharpshooter. Now look at all the bullet scars all over the side of the red brick house over here, folks. I call those tributes to Union marksmanship. You said we couldn't hit the broad side of the barn. We got that house thing. Now, how do you tell original houses? Look to your left, your right. Look for little bronze plaques about the size of an index card. And those plaques are going to read Civil War Building 1863. So you're in the original town at this point. The center of town they call the diamond. I call it a circle because I passed geometry, but you can call it what you want. When I was a kid, see if you ever heard this story. I was in school and they taught me that Lincoln wrote the Gettysburg Address on the back of an envelope on the train going to Gettysburg. Folks, history in the end is nothing but a reflection of source and interpretation. That's all it is. The hunt for the source of the story. Where does it come from? So we get in the center of town down here, and I wanted to show you that house where Lincoln placed the Gettysburg Address. It was done by this guy, David Wilson. Now, you got to remember, it took Lincoln from Washington, D.C. 16 and a half hours by train to get here. How long does it take you here by car today, folks? Anybody driving from D.C.? Take a little bit about, what, an hour and a half, maybe? 16 and a half hours. Had changed trains twice. Never fed him on the train. There's no dining car on the train. Can you imagine how hungry he was after 16 and a half hours? Gets to Gettysburg, and they put him in this house. So, a little bit of that moment. Also, you got to remember in Gettysburg, in Pennsylvania, but if you're not from Pennsylvania, You better be aware of the fact. In Pennsylvania, if you're in a crosswalk, you must stop for people. Crosswalk, you're a pedestrian, you gotta stop. Any place else, they're organ donors. You can run over and sue them for denting your bumper, okay? But if they're in a crosswalk, you gotta be careful. So when we get off the bus, look for a crosswalk. That way, if we get hit, you can sue them. But if we're not in a crosswalk, they can sue you. Okay, so don't want that to happen. Get ready to look to your right. Look for the Statue of Lincoln on the sidewalk over to your right. We're in the red brick house in the corner, second floor, to his right, that's Lincoln's bedroom. That's where we finished Gettysburg. But it is open to the public, by the way. And as hungry as Lincoln was, they would not, I couldn't understand this, folks, when something that history doesn't make sense. They would not let Lincoln go right across the street over here to eat the pub restaurant. And I've been trying to figure out for years, why wouldn't they let him go in there? He's right across the street, hungry as a bear. I finally went in there to have a meal and I figured it out. There's too many booths. Oh, I do like a good sharp buzz. Okay. No, actually, I rested one near the battle books. Now, so notice how everybody's stopping for the pedestrians. As we enter this block here called Chambersburg Pike, okay, so it was actually macadamized, we're going to look to our left for a red flag on a church. No American Red Cross in 1863. Red flags indicate hospital. Okay. So we would need a lot more red flags, folks. 25,000 wood is left behind in a town of 2,400 people. A lot more red flags, but there's one of them right there. Now, sometimes I use non-historic landmarks. So when you get to the Pizza Hut, look at the high ground on the left. Looking for a red brick building with a green topped cupola. Get ready. It's set front of us can see it. 3, 2, 1, right up there. Not your white pointy one, folks. That's modern. One left is the original dormitory of Lutheran Seminary, and we took it down to Red Pantaloons. Not firing up there anymore. Now, more importantly, as we cross over Seminary Ridge, look in front of you at the roller coaster. Lean out in the aisles, folks. Look in front of you. I want you to find me the roller coaster. Yep. Your entertainment. Can you see the roller coaster now? Look at the ridges, folks. It is ridge after ridge after ridge all the way to Booth Mountains. That's going to buy time. The battle begins out the morning of July 1st, 3 miles out this road, but the cavalry's going back ridge by ridge, buying time. Because the closest unit in infantry is still 5 miles south of Gettysburg. Then you start to see the monuments. I want you to know that, to my knowledge, this is the only battlefield in the world where the men who fought it are the men who bought it. The man on the horse is the left-wing infantry commander, Jonathan Holton Reynolds of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And as we turn left, he's our cavalry commander, John Buford. And I believe you can tell they're government monuments because, in my mind, only the federal government would place the infantryman on a horse and the cavalryman on foot. Reynolds outranks Buford. That's when he's up on the horse. Higher rank, higher you go. So the monument you see up here in front of you on the hill is the Eternal Flame Peace Memorial. And it's made up of Alabama limestone and Maine granite and dedicated to peace, eternal, and the nation united by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And he lit an eternal flame, which was put out in 1974.
Alright, so we are getting on our first stop here on the tour to see one of the monuments on the Confederate side. So we got General Lee up there in his horse. This is the Virginia Monument. Alright, so back to the bus we go. This right here, this is the official Gettysburg Battlefield bus tour. Okay, my friends, so we are back from the battlefield tour, and we got about an hour to finish up the museum, and then after that, hopefully we get some time for the gift shop. Then we'll go back into the battlefield and check out more sites in detail.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I may have your attention, please. It is now 4:30, and the Gettysburg National Military Park Visitor Center, Museum, and Bookstore will be closing at 5 p.m. In 30 minutes, we will be closing. Thank you.
All right, they just did that announcement that they'll be closing, so I better hurry up. 30 minutes. But yeah, headgear right here. One day, my new era hat will be up in display. Things that they will carry on the march. We've got the drummer snare right here. harmonica, a flute of some kind. Looks like we got a soldier with his horse. This is called the roll of the cavalry. Now we are met on a great battlefield of that war.
Union line holds. The road network remains open for coming reinforcements. During a lull in the fighting, both armies break off to reorganize and reinforce. The Union strengthens its right flank, but holds one division in reserve.
This is cool over here. So this would have been one of the flags that they would carry in battle. So it looks like this is from the Union side. Also called color bearers. Color bearers. A color bearer carried his regiment's flag into battle, an honor and a heavy responsibility. In the chaos of combat, the flag was a rallying point. Capturing a battle flag was a triumph, and losing one, a disgrace. All this made color bearers special targets. They held the most dangerous position in the army. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they're easy targets holding a big flag in combat in the middle of the battlefield. Huge target. Well, right here we have one for the Confederate. So I wonder if this is like a cannonball that went through the truss of a home. Preserve and put right here in the museum.
Because here at the battlefield,
just look at that.
Going on where the artillery came from. The fierce Union, that was actually
We're all right here. Shot and shell. Cannon shells ripped through the buildings on John Forney's farm on the Gettysburg Road on July 1st.
Union Commander General George Gordon Meade arrives on the field after midnight. By early morning, he has arranged the Union line in the shape of a large fissure, curving.
Got some uniforms right here for the artillerymen.
Union artillery along Baltimore Pike opens on Confederate positions at the base of Cope's Hill. The infantries engage. After 7
And we
hours
got
of
Meade's
fighting,
headquarters right here.
the Confederates
That will be his furniture.
The Union
What is that? Is that a desk or a dining table?
The Confederate right is strangely quiet.
We got the bed.
General Lee rides out.
These are Confederate casualties right here. Either killed, wounded, or captured or missing. Then we have in the Union side. Oh wow, we have a display over here of surgery. Look at those amputated legs right there. Wow. This is how they would cut them off. Look at the saw. Over here we have a door. And it's crazy to think of what it says right there where it says storm of bullets. Residents of the town returned to their homes to find reminders of the battle, like the bullet holes in this shutter. Just imagine big battle, going back to your home and your home's destroyed. the dead. May God spare me from ever witnessing another such scene. I will never again go over a battlefield for mere curiosity before the dead are buried. M.N.R. Brown, 27th India Infantry. Roughly 7,000 men died on the battlefield at Gettysburg. 3 days of fighting, almost 3 times the population of the town. Their bodies lay over 25 square miles of ground. No one there, soldier or civilian, had seen death on this scale. Gettysburg was the deadliest battle of the war. Yeah, guys, these pictures are pretty awful. Kind of hard to see, but it's a reality of what war was. I mean, until this day we have wars, but the Civil War, you know, it was people you knew, it was families, it was brother against brother, it was friend against friends. They were just fighting for a cause, they were fighting for their nation. Nobody was really enemies. But sad to hear, you know, that brother against brother fighting, one against each other. That was a civil war. We're gonna end it here. A new birth of freedom.
407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent.
This is the Gettysburg address. So after the war, Abraham Lincoln did address for the cemetery that was dedicated to bury all those that
we are engaged
fought here.
in a great that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Battlefields.
So as it says here, the New Soldiers National Cemetery in Gettysburg was a resting place for the Union dead and a first step toward helping the nation heal from the battle.
For those who here gave their lives.
There is a house coming into the town where Abraham Lincoln actually wrote the Gettysburg Address, which we'll probably go visit a little later. We got another flag over here. This is another Confederate flag right here. The war is over. The rebels are countrymen again. Union General U.S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. Surrender of General Lee. Look at this news post right here. 200 guns will be fired on the campus marches at 3 o'clock today, April 10, to celebrate the victories of our armies in 1865. And so we end here this museum with the surrender of General Lee. We have an article right here that says President is dead. So when we go out to DC, we'll be visiting the location where Abraham Lincoln was killed. Yeah, guys, there's so much to see here, so much to read, a lot of reading, a lot of details. And there's little rooms with projections where you can watch a little video, which is pretty cool. And of course, ending it with never forget what they did here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5 p.m. and the Gettysburg National Military Park Visitor Center, Museum, and Bookstore are now closed. We'd like to thank you for coming in today. We're going to reopen tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and hope you can join us. The battlefield itself is open till 5 so we hope you have a wonderful.
Alright, so we decided to come over here to Little Round Top just because you could get an overview of the whole battlefield from up here. See how enormous it is. So on top of here, on the little round top, you have these cannons right here. As you can see, there's a plaque here for the Army of the Potomac, 5th Corps Artillery Brigade. This is where they would have been stationed. And so what's cool about the battlefield ground is that there is monuments all over, and you could, I'll try to drive over there through the Confederate line and probably go over there towards the Union line. But there's monuments all over, and they're all over a place. Like you could see a monument just right there. I don't even know you could get to that monument, but it's there. That's where a group of soldiers would have been stationed protecting. So it's more like in memory to what soldiers were falling in that area. We're getting a little bit closer to the Devil's Den right there. Those rocks out there. That was one bloody area of fallen soldiers. Here's a monument for the 140th New York Infantry, 3rd Brigade, 2nd Division, 5th Corps. Got this huge castle right here. It's a monument to the 44th New York Infantry. And it looks like we could go up there and take a view. We have these bugs all over Gettysburg right here. I forgot what they're called, but there was a sign at the visitor center saying if you see one, kill it, because they are super invasive. So we're not gonna kill that one, but it looks like there's one dead right next to it. There's another one over here. People are stepping on them, killing them, but just don't know. There's another one. Another one. And right here in this condensed forest, this is a big round top over here. But this is the Gettysburg battlefield. We got the high ground right now. You can't really probably tell in the camera how high we are, but the tree line out there, that's where the Confederate line would have been for miles. Actually, I don't know how many miles, but that tree line, Confederate line, we got Devil's Den down there, which is what bloodiest battle would have taken place. We'll go out there in a second, but the Union line would have started here in Little Round Top all the way towards the town of Gettysburg in a formation of a fish hook. Right here we have some information on that fish hook that I was talking about. It's the Union fish hook. Here we are, Little Round Top, and yeah, this is where it started right here, going all the way towards the town of Gettysburg and hooking around to Copesville. And as you can see, the Confederate line, that's all in a straight line, which would have been those trees all the way back over there. Major General Daniel E. Sickles, commander of the Union 3rd Corps, was ordered to extend the Union line south of the Cemetery Ridge and occupy Little Round Top. Instead, he established a position farther to the west, your left, leaving the hill undefended. Sickles was later wounded in the right leg by a Confederate cannonball, which I believe his amputated leg is still on display in some museum somewhere, or it's the collections of the National Museum of Health and Medicine. Cool. All right, so let's get in the car and go to the Devil's Den. Okay, so we've come to the area of Devil's Den. And from here, We're up there in that castle monument. Okay, and for a little bit of reference, Devil's Den is on Sickles Avenue. The sun's starting to go down, so just gonna climb up there really quick, take some photos. Okay, let's head up this cool pathway right here to these huge rocks. Look at the size of these boulders right here. If you look online, there's some photos that were taken after the battle here in Devil's Den. So some really gruesome photos of those that were fallen here. So I am on top of Devil's Den right here in the boulders, where one of the bloodiest sites would have been here. Dead soldiers all over here. I'll try to find some photos and post them, but yeah, this is what they call Devil's Den. And of course, we were just up there, little round top, big round top. All right, guys, so I am no historian, so I can't really tell you details of what happens and all the different battles that took place here in Gettysburg, but there's this one channel I do follow called the History Underground, which I've been watching for a long time. He does a lot of Civil War sites. I'm not sure if he does Revolution, but he does a lot of history stuff, and he does do a lot of Gettysburg stuff. So if you guys get a chance, go check out his channel if you want to learn more about the Gettysburg battle. History Underground, or the History Underground. Yeah, we're gonna head back down. We got a truck right next to us. They have a camera set up over there in their car. They do have this camera on top, or GPS kind of looking thing, and they're talking about spirits, so they're probably ghost hunters.
Yeah, they have like the green, red lights.
Right here to the right, we do have the wheat field. Another bloody battle took place over here. They say that in the wheat field, you could walk all the way across and never step on the ground, just step over the bodies. Hay un perrito en ese monument. Okay, so we're gonna turn into Sedgwick Avenue. Park closes sunset to sunrise. We're almost at that point right there. We're gonna head off to one of the largest monuments that there is here in the battlefield. And you can see all these cannons right here, information on my left side, We're on top of the little round top. I mentioned the line for the Confederates. Over here, this is the line starting that fish hook where the Union would have been. Okay, so we are here probably at our last stop. We are now what the Union line was right here. But this is the Pennsylvania Monument, one of the biggest monuments right here. You can see some of the generals on top: Meade, Reynolds, Gary, Humphrey Hayes. See, can we actually see? Big round top over there. But this stop right here, this is the last stop that me and my dad did. Last time we were out here around the same time, it was getting dark. But we are back, 2024. Last time I was out here was 2020. It was during COVID. So there was a lot of less people out here. And I could see that the top is actually open now. During COVID, I think it was closed. Another thing about this monument is that all around there is plaques of all the different infantries for Pennsylvania, and there's a whole lot. This takes place all around the monument. 26 emergency, 26th Infantry, 23rd Infantry, 11th Infantry. And my dad didn't want to take the stairs, so he's down there taking pictures of us. So anyways, from here, top of the monument, we could see Little Round Top, Big Round Top. We're up there, showing where the Confederate line, which is that tree line all the way back there. And this is the Union line that we couldn't really see from Little Round Top. But you see this whole line full of cannons, artillery. Looks like we have a little encampment over here of Union soldiers. It looks like they're having some kind of reenactment over here. I'm not too sure what it is about, but maybe they're staying overnight, reenacting how soldiers would have spent the night out here in their little tents. They're about to fold the American flag.